So, yoga, whoever judges these, I don't even know who. Would love to see a little dog in there. Okay, so we're going to start in Virasana, which is fearless pose. Yeah. So we're going to take a block or two on its widest setting. And let your knees come parallel to one another and your toes, nails kind of glued to the ground. If this doesn't feel good, you can take another block. If this doesn't feel good, you can take the block away, whatever feels nice. So we'll start to roll shoulders back and down and just start to elongate the spine. You can even take the hands to the hips and find a couple of pelvic tilts, tilting the pelvis forward and then back, and starting to just sense if one feels more natural to you. Maybe the back bend's a little easier, maybe the tuck is a little easier. And so if you do find one coming more naturally, maybe you take a little compensation, and then we'll find a place that you feel centered, that you feel that this is your grounded pelvis, and that you feel like you're in a neutral pelvis and a neutral spine. Chin will raise out just an inch. We'll take the hands onto the body, maybe palms facing up for a little bit of receiving energy, maybe facing down for some grounding energy. And we'll start to shut the eyes or let them get heavy. We're just going to tune in, play the role of the observer. This will be a nice little 60-minute flow. We'll start with a breathing practice of Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath. We'll get into the body, get all the yuckies out, move, create some energy, create some power in the body. And then we'll drop it down for Savasana at the end for some grounding and just melting into the earth to set you into your weekend. I like to think of yoga as a breathing practice that we happen to be moving and we happen to be putting our body into various shapes that we call asanas. If anything I say does not resonate with what's fitting your body, I encourage you to listen to that internal teacher instead. They say we have a little internal teacher, a guru, that lives inside of our heart chakra. Our heart chakra is our energetic heart center. So if you do start to feel that overwhelm, or there's too many options, or not enough options, just tune in to that heart center. Maybe find and listen to what that guru or that teacher is saying. We'll start by inhaling 3 times together. Through the nostrils, we'll inhale fully, holding at the top, and then sighing it out to let it go. Twice more, we'll inhale together. Hold at the top, maybe an extra second. This time, stick out the tongue, sigh it out. Inhale one more time. Hold it at the top, straighten the spine. Feel the urge to let the air bubble out. And then we'll exhale, make some noise. Beautiful. Pause here for a moment, noticing the quality of the natural breath. Noticing if there's any body parts that are talking to you. The body talks, our job is to listen here in yoga. We'll start a breathing practice of alternate nostril breath, Nadi Shodhana, which is the purpose of this breath is to clear the energy channels. Just like highways on the road, our body has these channels of energy that can get congested or kind of collect traffic. So this breath of breathing through both nostrils means to balance and clear those channels. We'll bring the right thumb to the right nostril, and the right pinky finger to the left nostril. The 2 extra fingers here can either tuck in or connect the third eye center, totally up to you. We'll start by inhaling through both nostrils, keeping a straight spine, and we'll exhale through both nostrils, getting familiar with this position. Inhale through both nostrils, This time, close the left, exhale right. Inhale through the right when you've completed your exhale. Close the right, exhale left, slowly and fully. Inhale left, close the left, and exhale right. You'll continue this pattern for a few more rounds. Maybe you start taking note to if one nostril feels easier to breathe in or out in. Not doing anything about it, just observing, just taking inventory, playing the role of the observer in your practice. Let the air become fluid, feeling the inhales, connecting with the exhales, and knowing that there's a little space at the top between the breaths. Take one more round, and on your next exhale, you'll let the hands connect back to the body. Come back to normal breath. And just pause for a moment, noticing if any sensations in the physical body or the energetic, which is the breath body, has shifted or changed. If you'd like to invite an intention into your practice, maybe something comes to your mind, an image, a phrase, maybe a person to dedicate your practice to. If too much comes to mind, or maybe nothing comes to mind, just do it for yourself. Physical health, mental health, maybe spiritual health. We'll start moving a bit here. Next time you inhale, we'll lift the arms overhead, reaching fingertips to the sky. Exhale, palms to heart center, extend the elbows in opposite directions, press the finger pads towards one another. We'll do two more like that. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Maybe you gaze at the ceiling this time. Exhale, bring the palms to heart center, press the thumbs into the heart gently. One more time, we'll reach the arms up overhead, gaze up, maybe a little back bend by lifting the heart. Exhale, bring the arms all the way down to the sides. Good, we'll take a few neck rolls here. Palms facing out, reaching the energy away from the ceiling. Right ear come towards right shoulder. Feel free to explore this movement in just a slight variation of tilting the chin upward or tilting the chin downward. Reaching through those left fingers, noticing sensations that pop up in the neck or the shoulder. We'll let the head come back to neutral, facing forward when you're ready, and drop it to the opposite side. Left ear to left shoulder, reaching energetically through those right fingertips down towards the ground. Maybe you notice a sensation in the right side of the body. Just taking note. Not being alarmed if the different sides of the body are separate, as we're never going to be symmetrical. When you're ready, hands reach in opposite directions, head comes to center, and we'll start to move the spine. We'll inhale to reach the hands up. Exhale, right hand finds the earth as a little kickstand, left fingertips reach towards the mirror. As you inhale, use that kickstand to open the heart. Exhale to reach the left fingertips towards the knee a little further. Using the abdomen to inhale, lift the arms back up to center, maybe gaze up. We'll drop it down to the other side. Left arm finds the earth, kickstanding. Right fingertips reach to the wall. Use that kickstand to open the chest towards the sky. Exhale to reach the right fingers towards the wall. Beautiful. Inhale to reach the fingers high, torso comes to straighten. We'll use that length we created, twisting to the left, reaching right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale to reach from the collarbones to the fingertips. Exhale to maybe gaze past the left shoulder if it's okay on your neck. We'll stay for a full inhale here, reaching the fingers. Exhale, use that length to twist. We'll come back to center, reach the arms up, torso straightens to the front of the room. We'll twist to the right this time, opening the fingers. Inhale to reach from collarbones to fingertips. Exhale to gaze past the right shoulder, if that's all right, on the neck. One more full breath, maybe opening the fingers wide like the sun. Exhale to continue twisting from the back. As you inhale, rotate the spine towards the front of the room, gaze up. We'll bring the hands to the knees, and then we'll find an all fours tabletop position. And we'll take a moment to set up here, bringing the blocks to the front of the mat on their highest setting for later use. We'll let the hands come somewhere underneath the shoulders, and the knees come somewhere underneath the hips. You can play around with this alignment here. Maybe you spin the palms to face the opposite directions of the mat, letting the thumbs point forward instead of the middle fingers. And we'll find a neutral spine here. Again, taking that tabletop position in a place that feels good on the pelvis and the spine. We'll start some cat-cows to drop the belly down, reaching the gaze up to the ceiling, tailbone lifts. Exhale to press into all 10 fingers, plant the knees, arch the spine, gaze at the navel. A couple more rounds here. Inhaling, the belly drops, lengthen the neck, regal neck, gaze up. Exhale to press into the hands, maybe even bend the elbows. Energy through the fingers like you're reaching through the floor. One more round. Inhale, use the whole inhale to gaze up, tailbone reaches. Get dramatic, press through the ground, reach the spine towards the ceiling. Good. Let these movements get smaller and smaller. Sensing those subtle little movements in the vertebrae, in the spine, until you come back to your neutral spine, pretending someone's pulling your head towards the front of the room and pulling your hips towards the back of the room, elongating the space in the spine, in the neck, and even the hips. We'll wag the tail to the right, gaze back at the right heel. Wag the tail to the left, gaze back at the left heel behind you. If this feels good, maybe you continue this movement or a combination of your cat-cows, but I'm going to give you 4 breaths to really find your breath to start moving you. Using the inhales to open the body in some way, and using the exhales to deepen the stretch that you're choosing for your body. Let that inhale audibly fill you. Maybe you start inviting that ujjayi breath. That breath of victory, finding victory over the mental chatter, the to-do lists, those mental fluctuations that pop up. If you do find that chitta-vritti, that mental chatter getting loud, replace it with your intention and with ujjayi breath. When you're ready, we'll meet me in a tabletop position. Press significantly into the fingers, especially the place between the thumbs and the index finger. So if I came over to you and tried to stick my finger under your hands, I wouldn't be able to. We'll tuck the toes, lift the knees an inch off the ground, bear plank. We'll shift the weight forward, pressing into the fingertips. Slowly as you exhale, straighten the legs, lift the hips. We'll find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Maybe it's your first down dog of the day, maybe you're 10, but we'll find a lot of movement here. Bending deeply into one knee, gazing under the opposite armpit, and then bending into the other knee, gazing under the other armpit. Pressing into the hands, reaching the fingertips wide. We'll lift the heels high, and then anchor the heels towards the ground. We'll measure our down dog today, inhaling, rolling forward to plank position, adjusting your hands and feet as needed. Perfect, that looks beautiful. Take one more inhale to press through the fingers into the ground. Exhale to lift the hips using the abdomen, downward facing dog. We'll take tiny little steps up to the top of the mat, bending the knees as much as needed. Find your blocks to rest your hands. Uttanasana, forward folds. Inhale, we'll lift halfway, letting the spine grow long. Exhale, hinge the hips, bend the knees, forward fold, Uttanasana. Plant the feet, bend the knees, reach all the way up, trusting the strength of the legs, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms to heart center, Tadasana. We'll find equal standing, Samastitihi for a moment, rolling the weight to the toes, and then the heels, and then to either sides of the feet. We'll then let all of the weight equally distribute through all four corners of both feet, equal standing, Samastitihi. Inhale to reach the arms out to the side, over the head, maybe gentle lean back. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana, hands to blocks. Inhale, halfway lift, spine grows long, head reaches forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands on the ground, step the left foot far back, knee to the ground. Hug the thighs together, find your low lunge to reach the torso up, arms to a V, or maybe at palm center, heart center. Inhale, we'll lift the heart. Exhale, we'll sink the hips closer to the earth, continuing to hug the thighs together. One more inhale, maybe you reach the arms up all the way to the sky. Exhale, plant the hands alongside the right foot, tuck the left toe, lift the knee off the ground. Right hand will lift up towards the ceiling to open into a lunge twist. Yeah, maybe you find a block underneath the hand or on the earth. Inhale to reach the right fingers high, maybe gaze at the thumb. Exhale, plant the right hand down to the ground, step the right foot back to meet the left plank pose. Inhale to shift the torso forward. Exhale to bend halfway, maybe lowering the knees, chaturanga. Inhale, find your back bend, maybe a baby cobra, lifting the head and chest. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground, forehead to the earth. Press into the hands underneath the shoulders, lift yourself into tabletop position. As we exhale, we'll tuck the toes and lift the hips, straighten the legs, downward facing dog. Plant the right foot, inhale, left leg reaches high to the sky. Gaze forward, step the left foot between the hands, right knee to the earth. Hug the thighs together, inhale to lift the torso up, right arms reach to a V or palms at heart center. We'll take 2 breaths here. Inhale, palms reach or heart lifts. Exhale, rest the hips towards the earth, finding a stretch in that back leg. One more inhale, maybe you invite a gentle back bend, reaching the fingers high. Exhale, plant the hands onto the earth, tuck the right toe, lift the knee. Right hand stays planted, maybe on a block or the mat. Left arm reaches towards the ceiling, maybe you gaze at your thumb. We'll take one big inhale, strengthen the back leg, gaze up. Exhale, plant the right hand on the earth. We'll step forward into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, spine grows long. Bend the knees, exhale, fold over yourself, Uttanasana. Plant the feet, bend the knees, reach the energy all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms to heart center, Tadasana. Reinvite that intention. Inhale, arms out to the side, up and over the head, gentle lean back. Exhale, reach forward over yourself, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine grows long. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. This time we'll step the right foot far back, knee stays lifted. Hug the thighs together. Inhale, trust your legs to lift the torso, reach the arms upright. Crescent lunge pose. Maybe you bring the hands to the hips, pull the right hip forward to meet the left, lift the left toes off the ground, spread them out, and then gently let them relax to the ground. Inhale to let the heart lift, grow the neck. Exhale to sink the hips down to the ground. Beautiful. One more inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands onto the earth. We'll step it back to plank position. Inhale to press your plank through the ground. Exhale, find your chaturanga, bending the knees or staying upright. Inhale for your back bend. Baby cobra, maybe you lift the arms to straighten, king cobra. Exhale, eventually we'll find our way to downward facing dog, taking any variation your body is calling for. Knowing that every vinyasa is optional, every variation is welcome. Take your time to find downward facing dog, connecting with the breath, letting yourself take your time to get there. This time, left leg stays planted, right leg reaches high to the sky. Exhale, gaze forward, step the right foot between the hands, setting up for high lunge. Magnetize the feet together, trust the legs, reach the arms up, torso upright. Maybe you find the hands to the hips or keep reaching upward. Pull that right hip back to meet the left. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale to sink the hips, stretching that back leg. Inhale, maybe you flip the right toes, spread them out, plant them on the ground, lift the heart up, gentle back bend. Exhale, reach the arms down in front of you, step it up to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine grows long. Exhale, fold over yourself, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, plant the feet, reach the arms all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. This time we'll take a side bend, grasping the right wrist with the left fingers, planting the left foot, and reaching over to the left. Inhale to open the chest, grounding yourself. Exhale to reach, trusting your legs. Inhale, find the torso upright. We'll switch that grip. Plant the right foot into the earth, reach to the right side. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to reach. Inhale, torso upright, reach the arms up, maybe a gentle back bend. Exhale, hinge over the hips, fold over yourself, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, let the spine grow. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step it back to downward facing dog, taking the vinyasa if your body's asking for it. When you arrive in downward facing dog, we'll take 3 breaths. Inhaling to lift the hips, spread the fingers. Exhale to let the heels anchor towards the ground. Inhale, lift the heels high. We'll let them drop to the right side of the mat. Pressing equally in both hands, maybe inviting a newer sensation today to the hamstrings. Inhale to lift the heels back towards center. We'll drop them to the opposite side this time. Just noticing what you notice, feeling what you feel. Invite that intention and that breath back into your practice. Inhale, heels come to center. Drop them down to the earth. We'll find a little flow here. Left foot stays planted, reach the right leg up towards the sky, bend the knee, open the knee and hip out to the right. Stay here in stillness or take big circles with the knee or the ankle in one direction, and then reverse the circle, going slow, noticing every single part of that circle. Inhale to reach the right foot up towards the ceiling, straighten the knee. Gaze forward, step the foot between the hands. We'll set up for a lunge. Trust the legs. Inhale to reach the arms up, finding your lunge position. Exhale to settle, always knowing you can widen that face to find more room and balance. Inhale to open the heart, lift the hands. Exhale, twist to the right. Left arm forward, right arm back, twisted lunge. Inhale to reach the fingers. Exhale to sink the right knee, gaze behind you. Beautiful. One more inhale to lengthen here. We'll come towards warrior 2. Left heel to the ground, right arm reaches forward over the right leg, bend the right knee. Toes tracking forward, knees tracking forward. Gaze past that right middle finger. Roll the shoulders back and down. Feel the abdomen floating away from your pelvis. Inhale, maybe flip the right toes, spread them out, let them float down. As you inhale, flip the right palm, reach forward, keep bending that right knee, tilt it back, reverse warrior. Inhale to keep reaching those fingers. Only thing that changes is straightening that right leg, reverse triangle. As you inhale, use the torso to reach the hands up, right arms to a T. We'll tilt the hips to the left, reach all the way forward over yourself. Stay here for a moment. Inhale to continue reaching 1 centimeter. Exhale, right hand finds the earth or a block inside or outside of the foot. Use the fingers to reach the left hand all the way to the ceiling. Trikonasana pose, triangle. We'll stay here for 2 breaths, planting that left pinky toe, grounding the right foot, opening the left hip point up to the sky. Check in with the neck. Is it cranking to one ear or finding that perfect pedestal created by the spine? One more inhale, open the heart to the ceiling. As you exhale, left hand closes off. We'll find pyramid pose. Take a moment to readjust the feet. Right foot all the way to the right side of the mat, left foot to the left. Feet are on train tracks, not balance beams. We'll take an inhale, lifting our heart, finding the halfway lift. As you exhale, pull the right hip back to match with the left, fold over yourself. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Maybe you experiment how it feels to put more weight into the right toes or more weight into the right heel. Let yourself find a full inhale to lengthen the spine and a full exhale to fold forward, head reaching towards me. Forward folds, we fold forward, not downward, to let the spine continue to grow. Good. We'll begin pouring weight into that right leg, finding a bend into that right knee, hands to the blocks. Left toes start to float off of the mat, letting ourselves lift the leg hip height, flexing the heel behind you. Supported warrior 3. Left heel kicking back behind you as the head reaches forward, beautiful jumps. Option to reach the hands towards heart center for an unsupported warrior 3, or continue letting yourself find that support of the blocks. One more inhale, head and heel reach in opposite directions. As you exhale, bend the right knee, let the left foot find the earth into a lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, open the heart. Exhale, plant the hands down, step it back to plank, maybe take a vinyasa or one-legged vinyasa on the way. Finding your downward facing dog, wherever your vinyasa leads you to. Taking your time, knowing you can top in tabletop or in child's pose along the way. One day I'll figure these out. Cool. If you're pausing in child's, maybe you connect the forehead to the earth for a moment. They say that the place between the eyebrows is our space of intuition, our space of wisdom. They say we can connect to this energetic center to let our heart and the rest of our centers start to understand one another. Maybe you rock the forehead on the ground to start waking up that space of wisdom. Maybe you reinstate your intention to yourself. Maybe you even change your intention. When you're ready, we'll find a downward facing dog, pressing the hands into the earth, letting the heels start to anchor down to the ground, lifting the hips high, even letting the tailbone reach, finding a slight anterior tilt. Beautiful. Right foot will stay planted this time. We'll take our flow to the opposite side. Inhale, left leg, reaches high, bend the knee, open the hip out to the left. Stay in stillness or invite big circles into the hip, drawing circles or squares or your name with your knee. And then the opposite direction, pressing equally into both hands. Inhale, left leg straightens, point the toe energetically, reach to where the ceiling and wall meet. Gaze forward, step that foot between the hands, arch the spine. Beautiful. We'll set up for a lunge, letting the feet magnetize towards one another. Inhale to trust the legs, reach the arms overhead, crescent lunge. Inhale to open the heart, maybe curl the pinkies towards one another. Exhale to bend left knee, let the back leg come towards straighten the leg. We'll take one more inhale, floating the abdomen away from pelvis, and we'll twist open towards the left, reaching the right arm forward, left arm behind you. As you inhale, we're spreading the fingers out wide, like you're reaching for two people. Exhale to twist. Good, one more inhale, strengthen the legs. We'll flip to our warrior two, right arm back, left arm forward, reach over the right foot, palm facing down. Right pinky toe grounds into the earth, left toes reach up to the ceiling, spread them out, and place them down on the ground. Roll the shoulders back, find your long neck. As you inhale, keep bending that left leg, flip the palm, reach forward. Exhale to tilt it back, paint the sky, reverse warrior. Find that hand reaching to the back wall. One more inhale, keep bending that knee. Only thing that changes, straighten that left knee, reverse triangle. Use your abdomen to inhale, torso upright, arms to a T. We'll tilt the hips to the right, reaching over yourself. Stay for a moment. Inhale, reach a centimeter further, beautiful. Exhale, let that hand release down to a block or the mat, finding Trikonasana pose. Your body's reaching in so many different angles right now. Feet are grounded, reaching down. Hips are reaching back behind you. Head is reaching in my direction. Right fingertips reaching above. Trikonasana requires strength, balance, coordination. One more inhale, right fingers reach to the sky. We'll start to close it off. Hands to the earth or blocks. Readjust the feet. Find your train track set up instead of balance beam. Maybe toes are facing forward or about 45 degrees for the back foot. Inhale to lift the hips, halfway lift. Pull the left hip back to meet the right. Fold over yourself. Ardha pyramid pose. You'll take 3 breaths here. Maybe you take that half lift and continue folding forward. Maybe you press more weight into the left toes and then the heels. Maybe you find a strength building pose and you float the hands off the blocks. Take one more inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale to fold entirely, let all 10 pounds weight of the head go. We'll come towards our supported warrior 3, bringing all of our weight into that left foot, finding a bend in that knee. Hands or fingertips to blocks, let the right toes get light. Flex the foot, reach at hip height towards the back of the room, like you're kicking something behind you. Good, roll that right hip down slightly, beautiful. Letting the toes reach down to the ground, this looks fantastic. Maybe float the hands off the blocks for a little bit of balance. Inhale to lengthen between the head and the heels. Yes. Exhale to slowly come out, bending into the right knee, let right toes to the ground. Inhale, trust the legs, reach up to your high lunge. Exhale, plant the hands onto the ground, stepping back to plank, maybe taking a vinyasa or one-legged on your way back. We'll let the torso start to settle in either child's pose or downward facing dog, wherever your body is leading you. If you're in your child's pose, maybe you experiment by walking the hands all the way to the right, off of the mat, interlacing left hand on top of right. Left heel grounds to left, or left hip grounds to left heel. Right hand energetically presses down and away as the left hand reaches back, inviting a little stretch into that left hand. If this feels good, we'll walk it all the way to the opposite side, hands reaching towards the left side of your mat, maybe even off the mat. Right hand can interlace on top of right. Take a full inhale. On your exhale, heart melts to the mat, Anahatasana. We'll let the hands come back to center. If you'd like a little shoulder stretch, we'll let the elbows find the earth or blocks. Connect the palms like you're clapping. Bring the thumbs together and then reach the thumbs behind the neck, connecting to the back of the head. As you inhale, let the hips sink back towards the heels. And as you exhale, let the neck find length, sinking the heart down between the legs. One more breath. Maybe you let out that sigh, turning inward in our child's pose to invite a little introspection for the last remaining part of our practice. When you're ready, you'll meet me in a downward facing dog, planting the hands and tucking the toes, taking as much time, or maybe a cat-cow on the way to move the spine. How you doing? Good?
Yeah. That's so good.
Good, I'm glad. We'll come towards a couple of balancing poses before we invite some stretching onto the ground. So take your time to get there. We'll inhale to lift the heels high off the ground. Exhale to keep the heels lifted, bend the knees, gaze forward. Bottom of the exhale, step, hopper, jump all the way to the top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, let the spine grow. Exhale, fold it down, forward fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, reach the arms and torso all the way to straighten. Exhale, palms at heart center. We'll find our dancer pose. First, putting our weight on our right foot. Are you gonna be okay? What if this is okay? So left leg will heel kicks the booty, and we'll start to invite the hand to catch the left foot. I like to take the inside of the foot, making a little thumb onto the big toe, but the outside of the foot works too. We'll let the right arm reach out in front of us, palm facing to the inside of the body. Invite a little bend and a little support to that right foot or right knee to avoid hyperextension. As we tilt the forward, our torso come towards the ground, we'll continue lifting that right thumb up towards the ceiling. Maybe you start to kick the knee back as you press the hand and feet towards one another, inviting the chest to open towards the sky. Good. We'll take another inhale, reaching the hand and the foot in opposite direction. Exhale to settle into your pose. As we inhale, we'll let the knees come to kiss, reach the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, left foot meets right, left hand reaches right up to the sky. As you inhale, reach the arms up, invite a little back bend, reach the fingers high. Exhale, fold over yourself, Uttanasana pose, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, let the spine grow. Exhale, we'll stay in our forward folds. We'll walk the feet out about max distance, maybe even wider. And we'll invite yogi toe lock here if it's comfortable for you. Bringing your peace fingers to the big toes, we'll bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale to find a half lift, knowing that you will get stuck since your hands are under your feet. Exhale to keep the legs as straight as possible, bend the elbows to opposite sides of the room, let the head sink. Maybe you invite a little opening into the shoulders. Maybe you feel this in the hamstrings, or maybe you decide to take your own initiative here, letting the weight come to the toes or to the heels, maybe rocking side to side just a little bit to open new opportunities into a pose you may have been before. How can you make it new for yourself? We'll take one more inhale. Exhale to sink the head, open the elbows. Slowly, we'll let the feet come back to meet or find hip center. Inhale, halfway lift, let the spine grow. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step it back to downward facing dog, or maybe take a vinyasa on the way. Letting your breath dictate your movement. Letting that intention flood the mindset. If that chitta vritti, that mind chatter, starts to take hold. Next time you inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, keep the heels lifted, bend the knees, gaze forward. Step, hop, jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, let the spine grow. Exhale, fold it down. Plant the feet, bend the knees, reach all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms at heart center. We'll find dancer's pose, Najarasasana, at the top of our mat. This time, left foot space planted. Let the right heel come to the right glute. Capture the right foot behind you with the right hand, letting the knees kiss. Extend the left arm out, facing the inside of the body. As you let the weight shift forward, maybe the toes of the left foot are holding tension. Flip the toes, spread them out, and plant them down. Maybe you start to kick the right knee back behind you, letting the thigh come parallel to the earth. Letting the right elbow find a slight bend. Maybe you open the heart, reach the left fingers up to the sky. One more inhale to open the body in opposite directions. Slowly as you exhale, let the knees come to kiss, release the right foot, bring the right arm to meet the left up at the top. Inhale to invite a back bend, spine grows. Exhale to fold over yourself. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, let the spine grow. Exhale, fold it down. Option to stay in a forward fold. Walk the feet to the end of the mat and find gorilla pose, Padangusthasana, to bring the hands under the feet. If you'd like a little more fire and some more balance challenge, option to find crow pose. Starting with the feet about hips distance, planting the hands where you would for your downward facing dog. We'll let the heels lift, let the knees bend to find the knees a little home somewhere between the elbows and the armpits. As you shift the weight forward, gaze in front of you to the top of your mat. Maybe you float one toe off the ground, maybe another toe, maybe both toes at the same time. Take another inhale wherever you are. Exhale to find your stability, planting your feet. We'll release the hands and find a little hip opener as we let the toes come out to 45-degree angles, walking the feet as wide as you need for a Malasana squat, a yogi squat. We'll let the hips sink down to the earth, maybe sitting on a block, letting the palms come to heart center, pressing the knees out wide. I haven't done this in so long. We'll inhale to let the head grow, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Exhale, maybe invite the legs to find strength by magnetizing them towards one another. We'll let the right hand come in between the legs, maybe on a block. Reach the left arm long towards the ceiling into a twist. Inhale to reach the fingers high. Exhale to release both hands to the ground, maybe finding a little cat pose in between. I know, right? This time, left hand to the ground, right arm reaches to the sky, not losing sight of those legs opening out to the side. Press into all four corners of both feet, knowing it's easy to roll inward here. One more inhale, let the head lift. Exhale, find both hands to the ground, invite a little cat pose. We'll slowly find our way to a forward fold for transition states, taking your time to get there, toes facing forward. Inhale to find your half lift, connect the feet to the ground. Exhale to bend the knees, plant the hands, step it back to downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa if you'd like a transition. Letting the breath move you. Letting the power of your intention keep you present and keep you in the practice. We'll start to wind it down now, inhaling, shifting forward to plank position, lowering the knees or not, exhaling all the way to the belly for a back bend. We'll take a space pose, but first we'll pause for a moment, letting the hands come underneath the forehead like a pillow, or letting one cheek come to the mat. toes to the earth, letting the toenails connect with the ground. And we'll start to set up for our Sphinx, propping ourselves up onto our elbows and forearms, letting the elbows come somewhere underneath the shoulders. Forearms in the shape of an 11, spreading the fingers out wide like the sun. And we'll find a little bit of opposition of weight in our Sphinx. As the toes reach back behind you, the chest reaches forward between the hands. As the palms and the elbows reach down, the crown of the head reaches up. As you find traction to energetically press the forearms back and the elbows behind you, the chest tries to scoot between the forearms. Good, we'll take one more breath in this active Sphinx pose. Exhale to keep pressing the toes back. Lots of them. As you inhale, we'll lower the body all the way to the ground, maybe opposite cheek to the mat or forehead to the mat. You can wag the tail or maybe bend the knees and find some windshield wipers with the legs. We'll take another breath here and we'll find one more back bend in this belly down position of a Shalabhasana, a locust pose. So we'll spread the hands wide, reaching them back behind us, palms facing down. Zip up the legs behind you or keep them about hip height for any low back pain. As you inhale, embrace the core, the glutes and the hamstrings. Exhale, lifts the head and the chest and the toes. Maybe interlacing those hands behind you to reach back further. One more inhale, reach the nose and the toes in opposite direction. Exhale, release down to the earth. Beautiful. Windshield wipers or wagging the tails might feel good. And we'll find a child's pose for a counter here. Pressing the hands into the earth, rocking back so the heels reach towards, or the hips reach towards the heels to find a child's. Maybe for a low back release, the knees come closer together. For a hip release, the knees can widen to opposite sides of the mat. Take a full inhale here, finding length between the hips, the legs, the spine, and the arms. Exhale fully to hold yourself and ground yourself. We'll start to find our way to our backs, however your body asks you to get there, taking your time, not making any story about it, if possible. Letting yourself just find the earth, find the grounding underneath you. And we'll start to lengthen the head onto the ground. Feet will find the earth parallel to one another in the shape of an 11. We'll roll the shoulders back and down so the shoulders are not reaching towards the ears. We'll set up for a bridge pose here, planting the hands onto the earth, walking the heels close to the glutes. Maybe you can even graze the heels with the fingertips. Press the head down into the earth so the shoulders can find grounding underneath you. And the neck is no longer planted on that ground. As you inhale, lift the hips up, maybe an inch, maybe two, maybe the full range of motion that your hips are offering you. One more inhale to maybe lift an inch higher, hug the knees towards one another. Exhale to release the hips down to the ground. We'll take one more bridge pose, offering a restorative bridge if you're just totally done with the movement right now. Finding a block in one of your hands. We'll lift the hips up just enough to place a block on its widest, lowest setting onto the hips. We'll take a few breaths here, really settling in. I'm going to turn some of the legs off so we can start settling the body, settling the spine. Start to find that connection to the quality of the breath and any sensations the body might be speaking to you. Maybe you even remember taking this body scan or this intuitive observation in the beginning of our class. As you inhale, breathing in space into your body, into every cell. As you exhale, encouraging relaxation. Maybe there's one part of your body you know that handles stress. Maybe it's your fingers and you give them a wiggle. The toes, you might give them a wiggle. You collect tension in your face. Maybe you open the mouth, open the eyes, lift the eyebrows and then furrow them. We'll encourage one part of our body that needs to relax and send them a little extra love. We'll come off of our block to enter our twists, lifting the hips enough to release the block and lowering them to the ground. For our twist, we'll lift the hips just to move them to the left side of the mat, just a couple of inches. Hug the knees into the chest, and we'll let the knees drop over to the right. Option to place a block underneath the legs, between the legs, or maybe crisscross the legs. Let the arms find themselves wherever they land. Maybe in a T, maybe over the head, maybe they find the body. Neck is facing in the direction of where is comfortable for your face, your eyes, and your head. As you inhale, start to imagine the spine start growing, vertebrae creating space between one another. As you exhale, you use that space you created to twist. Take 3 more breaths here. Starting to get heavier. Noticing that the bones might feel like they're sinking into the ground. As you notice and invite any new sensations or observations. Take 1 more inhale, lengthening. As you exhale, deepen the twist. We'll come back to center, slowly, maybe even using your abdomen to protect the low back, rolling all the way to the back. We'll pause in a neutral spine for a moment, letting the body settle. Maybe you notice a difference between one side and the next. We'll lift the hips, and if you don't have a dog in the way, move them over to the opposite side of the mat and drop the knees towards the left. This side does not have to look like the opposite side, just letting your body take the shape that it's asking for. Gift yourself the gift of 5 deep breaths here, inviting that life force, that chronic energy through the breath. And as you exhale, maybe you envision sending that energy through the body, or sending it to loved ones, maybe plants. Take 3 more of your slowest, deepest breaths yet today. We'll slowly start to unwind, letting yourself come back to lying on the back. Feet will stay planted, knees are lifting. We'll find a happy baby by inviting the knees into the chest, holding onto the shins, and opening the knees wide. If you'd like to grab onto the outsides of the feet or the big toes, feel free. Maybe you rock side to side, maybe you extend one leg and then the other, or any other variations. Wherever you are, can you start lengthening the neck and planting the tail onto the ground. As you inhale to find length, exhale, maybe you pull the knees towards the armpits to find a stretch in the lower legs. We'll take a few moments and set up for our Savasana, our final constructive rest. If there's any poses your body's aching for, maybe a hip opener, maybe an inversion, let your body take it. If you would like a heart opener instead of Savasana, you can place a block underneath the heart. Just if you want any props like a bolster, let me know.
Great.
Cool. And we'll take a moment to really get comfy here. They say Shavasana is our opportunity to integrate our yang active practice into our cellular level of the body. Letting the body release, letting the body center, and letting the body find balance between yin and yang. We'll make fists with the fingers, and then spread the fingers wide, and then let them relax, finding just their natural curl. Letting the toes flex back towards the face, and pointing the toes, maybe rolling the ankles in and out, and then asking them to relax. We'll let the head rock to the right, rock to the left, and then ask it to simply just be and simply relax. We'll take one more inhale, filling up entirely, holding at the top that urge to let it bubble out. Sip in a little more air, filling yourself. As you exhale, let yourself release into Shavasana. Turn the lights on. And so one day it happened like this. I was floating amongst an ocean of stars in timeless space. All it took was one look from Earth, and she cast her line, hooking me into her orbit. Never had I seen such unparalleled beauty than in the life that dwelled within her gravitational currents. I asked if I could experience a human life, to know the feeling of a mortal heart that feels mortal in love, or to feel the peace that washes over from being submerged in the salty sea, or the enveloping scent of a bonfire from camping beneath pine trees. I wanted to physically experience the chaotic dance of emotions that make a human life so rich. Earth granted me my wish, and she asked which character I would like to play when I came in. I made up a name and many other ingredients that would create my story so that I could grow along the way. She said the price of admission was that I would experience amnesia. I would forget that I came from infinity and instead identify completely with the role I played, thinking that was me. Part of the game was in participating with the mystery, a treasure hunt of following the breadcrumbs and soft whispers of inspiration that reminded me of the endless possibilities contained within one human life. Michelle. Start inviting little movements, or maybe big movements, through the physical body. And we'll invite a deep inhale, followed by a releasing exhale. If you'd like to end your practice, or if you have time to stay and would like to, please do stay here. Otherwise, we'll start bending one knee into the chest, followed by the other, to give yourself a little hug. We'll roll to one side, pausing in a fetal position, the place of rebirth, new intentions, and new beginnings. If you'd like to invite a new intention, please do so. Maybe you bring one hand to the heart and give yourself a compliment, a well-deserved compliment. We'll meet in an easy seat, maybe sitting on blocks or a blanket, bringing the palms to heart center. We'll take a breath together to end the class, inhaling fully, exhaling to release. Draw the prayer to the forehead as a reminder to live in clear, loving thoughts. The prayer to the lips as a reminder of clear, loving communications. And the prayer back to the heart as a reminder for clear, loving actions. Thank you, Jess, for sharing yourself and your practice with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah. And you too for sharing your receipts.
Yeah, me too, Ruby. Oh, sorry, that was a harsh.
No, it's okay. How much earlier have you queued out of Savasana?